Greetings from quarantine, everybody. The bishop wanted this following statement to be read at all the masses this weekend, and of course, I cannot celebrate Mass with you this weekend because I got the coronavirus. So let me start by reading this. Dear brothers and sisters in Christ, the COVID-19 pandemic has been a major disruption in our lives. While the number of cases in our diocese rises sharply, I want to give you a brief update. 4 of the priests in our diocese are now under quarantine. I'm one of those. The likely place where one of these priests caught the virus was in a church where some of the people in Mass were not wearing masks. The other 3 priests are quarantining due to contact with the one who is infected in the Mass. Our clergy and volunteers are on the front line in contact with the public every day. Our protocols allow them to carry out their ministries more safely. If you refuse to wear a mask in church, you are putting people at risk, and you are not being fair to our clergy and volunteers. Fewer clergy would mean a reduction in the availability of the sacraments for our people. In our diocese, we expect people to wear masks or cloth face coverings when they come to church because this provides a layer of protection against the possibility that one could unknowingly be infected with the coronavirus and spread it to others through the air. When churches follow our protocols of wearing masks, maintaining safe social distancing, keeping hands clean, and avoiding handshaking, it has been very effective in preventing transmission of the virus. Wearing a face mask over the nose and mouth is not very enjoyable, yet it serves a valuable purpose for the sake of public health and in respect for the precious gift of human life. Out of love for our brothers and sisters, we accept some personal inconveniences to protect others from harm. To wear a mask for 1 hour in church is a very small sacrifice in comparison to the ultimate sacrifice made by Jesus Christ on the cross. Thank you for your cooperation with the coronavirus policies of our diocese. Let us work and pray together in a spirit of patience and love. In the joy of Christ's service, Bishop Michael Siss. Well, this coronavirus thing is annoying. I don't know if you've heard of it or anything like that. It's been difficult to know what to do with this thing. I know this whole semester long, even preparing during the summer, there's a lot of thought put into what can we do, what's possible, what's safe. It's been a really difficult year, and it's kind of compounded in frustration by the fact that I still feel like I'm very new at campus ministry and not really sure what I'm doing. I feel in a lot of ways like I'm this guy in the gospel reading today that has one talent. Just the meager little whatever that I've been given as compared to the guy with 2 or 5 or 10 or whatever else they might have. I don't have much. And the temptation is to guard it away and to be safe with it, to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. But we've taken some risks in the fact that we've continued to try to live our lives. We've tried to be creative in this time. And with the meager talents we've got in our small but mighty little community of the Newman Center, I think we've done some beautiful and tremendous things. Whenever the pandemic started, I remember having a meeting with some of the council members, and we were talking about what can we actually do. And one of the things that was unanimously brought up in that council meeting was we need to continue to do the rock. We need to continue to have adoration. And strangely enough, maybe if you're thinking about it, I didn't think that was going to be a big deal. I didn't think that people are going to want to watch adoration live streamed, but we did it. It was one of the few talents, resources, whatever you want to say that we had, and we prayed the rock. We put it on Facebook, and it very quickly had the most views of anything that's ever been put on our Facebook page. And it just continues to impress me, the ingenuity and the desire for holiness that all of you guys have. Throughout this pandemic, I think we've had a lot of different opportunities for prayer, because in some sense, what else do we do? That's the one talent we have, brothers and sisters. And you guys have shown up in a very large way. There's been a number of Sundays that I've come to the Newman Center, and we just don't have space. We need a bigger place. With social distancing, it's been really hard to fit everybody in the chapel, and so of course we have to open the doors and spread out a lot more. I've been impressed when I've shown up to the Rock since we've been able to open up again, and there'd be 20 or more people there ready to pray. Sometimes I think in this whole coronavirus thing, it might not feel like we're doing enough. But from what I've seen in these few months we've been dealing with this virus, we've been putting our talent where it needs to go. We've been making interest, making dividends on this thing. We've at least put it in the bank, and I'd say we've done a lot more than that. So much so that we've risked health. We've risked a lot. And even though I have this virus, thankfully I don't have huge, overwhelming symptoms or anything like that. Even though I'd rather be healthy, I'd rather be out there wandering about with all of you guys and still having the Newman Center open, I think we've done a good job. And so I just want to encourage everybody to continue to make interest on that talent. The big talent that we have is prayer, as Catholics, as Christians, and as I think a Newman Center. So keep your interest building and don't give up, even though it might feel like defeat in some ways to have closed the Newman Center, to see the skyrocketing cases across our country. We can still make interest on this thing. And God's grace can still abound, even in what feels like this situation where there's not much growth to be done.